Hello, everyone. We have Eulanda here, and uh, in two sentences, what was your business idea and how does it help the world?
Oh, well, the business idea was to help people tell their story, to help them create a personal brand by using innovative techniques for digital storytelling. Um, so, to help people tell their stories.
Great. And why do you find that innovation is the crucial part of this?
Because we're not used to telling our stories sometimes.
Mhm.
And so, um, being innovative in how we are telling it and thinking about what our values are, how we infuse innovation into our daily lives, our professional lives, and then how can we share that with others.
Do you think that it's something that inspire others and make them, I don't know, feel more entrepreneurial too?
I think so. I mean, honestly, I think oftentimes people do not think of themselves as innovative
Hmm.
or creative. And I've taught in this space for over 35 years. And I've had many people say, I'm not creative, I'm not innovative. Oh, I never thought of myself as innovative. And then as we talk more, we work together, then they start to see, like, oh, what I did or how I approached this problem or
Hmm.
solved this problem was innovative. But,
Hmm.
I didn't think of myself that way.
Hmm. And then you make them empowered in this field. I believe.
Yeah. And whatever field that they're in, because the- you know, innovation can apply again to so many aspects of life. It can be small
Hmm.
tasks that we do every day. It could be larger tasks. And within our personal lives, our professional lives, we're encountering problems. We're
Hmm.
solving them. Every human has some type of problem that arises every day, sometimes every hour. And so we have to approach that and keep our minds open and figure out ways to solve that problem. But what doesn't happen sometimes is that people don't document
Hmm.
how they solve that problem so that they can share it.
Hmm.
They can use it in job applications. They can use it in their resume, um, in the cover letters, on their LinkedIn profiles. Uh, so that's what we help people do.
Hmm. So, how do people approach you, and what can they expect from you?
Oh, okay. So people approach us a variety of ways. We have a website, which is innovation-and-insights.com. And we also have, through my LinkedIn page or my email address, people contact us. We're on all types of social media, including YouTube um, and so a variety of ways people reach out to us. But what they can expect is first a one-on-one meeting where we get to know each other.
Hmm.
And I do a lot of listening, much more listening than I'm doing now. I like I feel like I'm talking a lot, which I'm supposed to be since I'm on a podcast.
Yeah.
But generally, I ask questions and I listen. I listen a lot. My background is in research because I am an academic, and so I'm used to collecting a lot of data, a lot of information, and I've done a lot of work with qualitative data, which is narratives, it's words, it's stories. And
Hmm.
so, first off, is just really to collect information. So, a one on one meeting to do that. Then we start with a couple surveys.
Hmm.
Uh, One for someone to assess their own personal brand. You know, how are they managing their personal brand? Have they thought about their own personal brand?
Hmm.
Uh, are they posting on social media? What's their interaction? What's their engagement? Um, Things like that. And then the second survey is about what's their aesthetics. So, what fonts do they like? What colors do they like? Um, what are their values? How does that align with their personal brand?
Mm-hmm.
And so we take that information, and then I also give them some more homework after that. There's a lot of homework up front, is to help them look at their why. Why are they doing what they're doing? What are their values?
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, when people have frustration within their lives, personal or professional lives, their core values are not aligning with their work,
Mm-hmm.
and so um, we spend some time talking about that. That's usually sessions 2 and 3 with
Mm-hmm.
all of that. Then we come back together with all this information, and I help them develop a new bio, a new longer bio, short bio, a a revamp of their LinkedIn page
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we look at their resume or their curriculum vitae if they're an academic and
Mm-hmm.
rework that, and then make sure that it's not missing some of the things that they do that I've heard from our conversations, that I've seen from the data that they've given me, the information, and then clarify. And so we go through that, we clarify, I ask more questions, make
Mm-hmm.
sure I understand so that we can really show their story on those documents. Then, if part of the package includes a website, we do that and
Mm-hmm.
start gathering information. And I start asking, okay, I need pictures of this. I need more information about this. So on my end, it's a lot of gathering information
Mm-hmm.
about it, and then repackaging this information for them in an innovative way to help tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what people can expect.
Right. I like that because I think we all people are somehow uh, not really good at thinking about ourselves and our achievements and our I don't know, strengths and things like that. And somebody like you can really help them.
Oh yes, it's so hard. It's so hard to talk about, and I'm horrible for myself. So even myself, when I'm having to update my resume or my bios, I have someone else look at it because I might miss things.
Mhm.
Um, but it is really hard. So that's what we do, and we help people. And sometimes what we do, we think is insignificant too. Like, oh, I shouldn't put that on there, or I shouldn't tell that. And it's like, oh no, that really, shows that you have this experience or this background. And so it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you also have a podcast. Can you tell us a bit
Yeah.
more about it?
Yes. Our podcast is Innovation Insights, and we're on YouTube and then also all the other podcast platforms. And I interview a variety of different people. My goal is to interview 1,000 people. I don't know. I might be like 80, 90 years old by the time I get can get that far. I don't know. But we've been going for about a year and a half with the podcast. And the reason why I started it was, again, people have a hard time telling their stories. Sometimes we don't have the opportunity to tell our own story.
Hmm.
Sometimes I've had stories told about me. They
Hmm.
weren't flattering stories, they weren't truthful stories. And I thought, well, one, I could sit around and just complain about that.
Hmm.
Or, oh, I'm sure other people haven't had the chance to tell their stories.
Hmm.
So let's start a podcast. And it is just an absolute joy.
Yeah.
People talk about their backgrounds, what they're working on. We've had authors, we've had faculty, we've had industry individuals, we've had CEOs, we've had students on there. And everyone has such interesting stories that can really inspire us. And I think that's part of some of the challenges that we have in the world today is that we don't get take the time to get to know people
Hmm.
and their stories. And if we did, I think we'd have less challenges now. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, great. So you worked with variety of uh, companies or levels of companies, and I'm really into startups, and I want you to uh, share some most common mistakes you see startups make when starting with
Ah,
their journey.
oh, great. Yeah, so startups are fun. They are just really fun, um, because there's usually some type of passion or love that the founder or the CEO has, and they're really wanting to make a difference.
Hmm.
Uh, sometimes well, one of the biggest mistakes I think is thinking that it's going to be an overnight success.
Hmm.
Um, and we all hope that. And I even hope that with Innovation Insights, but but you have to be in there really for the long haul.
Hmm.
And then also another mistake is thinking that you have to do it by yourself.
Hmm.
You don't, because entrepreneurship can be lonely. You need a support system in there. It's a lot of hard work,
Hmm.
and it does take longer sometimes to do things than you hoped. And especially now, because there's just so much change that's happening, especially with technology, and
Hmm.
that you might have something figured out one way, and like, oh well, no, there's this whole new way of doing it that's going to be more efficient.
Hmm.
And and sometimes, yes, it's nice to like, okay, I'm just going to ignore that and just keep going this way. But taking that time and say, okay, let me slow this down a little bit, let me make sure. So that's two items. And then third is really knowing who you are serving, because that's really part of entrepreneurship, is that you're providing a service or a product,
Hmm.
and really understanding your target market and what their needs are, because you
Hmm.
can create everything, but if no one needs it.
Yeah. You said that things are rapidly changing right now, but do you think that right now is the best time ever in history to start a business?
Oh, yes, yes. And I've had businesses now, oh gosh, like almost 50 some years, different little businesses and things that I've started. And I had an online business that was on Yahoo Business. Yes, at one point Yahoo had a whole platform that you could host your website on in business.
Hmm.
It was painful. It
Hmm.
was absolutely painful. Compared to now, what you can do with technology and AI, it is a fabulous time. And Innovation Insights has been really built with AI.
Hmm.
Uh, definitely would not be able to do all the things that we have been able to do because we're small team operationally. And yeah, it's a great time. It's fascinating. It
Hmm.
can be overwhelming sometimes, but you just have to sit back and say, okay, where can I get the best information on which technology is the best to use?
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, it's a great time to be in business.
Uh, what surprised you the most in your entrepreneurial journey, in good or
Uh,
in bad way?
yeah, yeah. Um, well, I've had again several businesses, and I guess what's always surprised me, like, oh, people are excited about it, so that's always fun. And then again, this the amount of, you know, it takes a long time. It takes a long time. And I think that we see within media and popular press, the the glamorous side of entrepreneurship. It's like, oh, it's cool to be an entrepreneurship. I'm gonna be a next Steve Jobs out there in my black turtleneck and my, dad jeans, and I'm gonna be up there launching the next, iPhone or something like that. And there's that glamour, but that work that goes in to getting to that point, there's a lot that's just not seen, and the amount of time that it takes. And I wouldn't say that's a surprise. I mean, but uh, patience. You just have to be patient. You just really have to be patient.
Mhm.
And I like to get things done, and so sometimes I'm like, okay, let's be a little more patient. It's going to take a little longer, Yolanda. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
because it's easy to beat yourself up as the founder of, like, oh, I should have gotten more done. We should be farther along. We should have launched this or that.
Mm. What usually is the answer, or most likely is the answer to this question from others on this show was it never gets easier. Uh, but I think it's the thing about us entrepreneurs, because we think we have to, get better, get more, get involved all the time, and uh, that's this way of life. That's something engraved in our DNA.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
and
What?
the thing is, you have to pass things along too, and delegate and give things to other people to do, because you just can't do it all.
Mhm. Okay, so if you started this team, you also uh, work with leaders and doing some leadership coaching. I
Mhm.
think this is one of the really themes close to my heart too, because I think it makes a big impact on the
Mhm.
teams and on the leaders and on their families and everywhere. So. What would you advise leaders, like in two sentences?
Uh-huh. Well, for leaders to get support, because being a leader is hard. It's hard work.
Mhm,
It's also lonely, like entrepreneurship, and so
mhm,
you need support. And there's no shame in getting support.
absolutely.
Sometimes it is um, thought of that, oh, if a leader needs support, if they need a coach, if they need a consultant, they need a mentor, then, oh, they're not a good leader because
Mhm,
they need support. No, they're humans, they need support, and it shouldn't be a shameful thing to get support, and get the right support,
mhm,
not just assign support like this is the person. So for leaders, just to realize that it's okay to ask for help and to
mhm.
get support, and the right support. That's just really important.
Excellent. I once made uh, a team, a dream team, and I think that the decisive factor at that moment was that I share my vulnerability, my
Mm.
where I couldn't find the solution, and I get to my team and I said, "Oh, help me out with this
Oh,
because I
yeah.
don't know what to do." And
Right.
when I did that, the team connected, and it came out marvelously.
Well, see, and Robert, I think that you were probably really sincere when you asked for the help. I've had some leaders come and, they ask for input,
Mhm, mhm.
but they really don't want it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I want input. I'm going to listen to everyone, and then I'm going to go do whatever I want to
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
And so from what you're describing was like really sincerely saying, I need your help. I need your input. I want to hear what you're thinking and use that. But sometimes leadership, especially upper management, is like, yeah, we're gonna act like we're gathering input, but then we're just gonna do whatever we want.
Yeah, agree. Agree. So, uh, what was the best business advice you received?
Hmm. Let's see. Actually, it was recently from Tiffany, Tiffany Corbett, who is a former student of mine, and she was like, "Yolanda, you need to be on camera more. You need to make short videos," which I have been. I need to get on a more consistent basis with that. But we're in a we're in a time period where trust is low of
Mhm,
individuals, and one way to for people to know who they're going to work with is to see them on video, hear them, talk with them, interact with them.
Hmm.
Because we're all getting spam emails. We're seeing all types of things across all the social media channels. We don't know if it's AI produced or not, and so that was one of the best pieces of advice I just recently got, and I'm trying to implement the best I can.
Of course.
It's really fun because Tiffany was a student of mine too, so it's really great to get because I've always learned probably more from my students than I ever taught them in my whole life. So
Yes, I started as a high school teacher, and I also learned a lot from them. And I like learning now. I like learning from my kids and my grandchildren because you can learn so much of them because they are so pure, without these limits that we put on ourselves. And I think it's great if you're open to that. Uh,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And last night I was meeting with a 19-year-old entrepreneur, and
mhm,
one of the questions like, what do you have for advice for a business person, my age? And it was great. It was great to hear. So again, just you can learn so much from so many different sources and people.
Yes, I think the one mistake that people do is they, I don't know, some kind connect age with experience and
Uh-huh.
good experience. I saw uh, exactly as a high school teacher at the beginning of my career, I saw teachers who were experienced. And they
Mhm.
were really experienced and they were good at what they were doing, but I also saw teachers that were just old, and they repeated the same, basically same mistakes years after years after years, and they didn't progress, and they were just old.
Well, and that's why it's so important to and it's one of the values of Innovation Insights is continuous learning. We
Hmm.
have to keep learning,
Hmm.
and especially now. Now, if we're not learning, and it does seem like we have some groups that are like AI,
Hmm.
artificial intelligence. I am not going to learn about it. It is not going to be part of my life
Hmm.
when it is part of everyone's lives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and so we always just have to keep learning.
Hmm.
It's part of living.
Yeah. So, what would be a one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self when you first started your
Mhm.
career or business? Would you change anything?
My whole career, I've always have dabbled between being in industry and academia.
Hmm.
I would say my younger self, I would have probably spent more of my free time working on my business a bit more earlier on in my career because I would have been further along.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, I think sometimes it's scary. You have a job, you're gonna like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna give everything to this company, this organization that I'm with. Uh, but as I look back on my career, and I'm always like really just impressed with younger generations that are like, because I was raised to like go learn off of someone else, go make mistakes on someone else's dollar, then you can start your business later on in life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And again, I had businesses the whole time, but I wasn't like completely locked in. Like I was like, oh, I gotta you know focus on my career, in this paying job, which is important. It's absolutely important, and
Hmm.
you definitely want to do your best job with that. But I'm always just really impressed with younger generations of entrepreneurs and innovators that are like, I'm going to go do it myself.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, wow, and I kind of think back like, wow, what would it have been like if 20 something year old Yolanda would have been like, nope, I'm just going to go work on my business and start my business. And that's it.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's a shame that we couldn't try this other path.
I know, I know. Need a time machine to go back.
Yeah. But okay, you're still young. You can try another. Go full in today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I thank you for calling me young. I appreciate that.
So, what would you advise these young people? Okay, not those who decided to be entrepreneurs to try it and go all in, but others. What do you think is the right approach? Or uh,
Yeah. Well, I do think it's important if you have a job, you need to keep it. You need to, do your best at that job too, and provide value within that organization. That is so important. But if you have an interest and a desire to start a business, do it. Spend your free time. I mean, your job, generally you're going to be working 40 to 60 hours a week, depending on what it is, might be 80 hours a week or more. But, there's other hours that you can spend, some time each day to do a little work on your passion projects, your a business that you want to start. Um, but you do have to follow those dreams. You really do. It's important to do that. So if you have something in your heart there that you want to do, try it.
Great. So yes, I think it's like we said before. It's easier than ever to start a business and to be successful and to try it. And if you fail, you don't need thousands and thousands of dollars to
You
try
don't.
your
You
idea
don't.
like we used to have at our beginnings.
Right.
Today you can do it
Yeah.
basically for free, from
Yeah.
advertising to getting knowledge to, I don't know, opening bank accounts and things like that. And it really,
Absolutely.
yeah. uh, so,
And is it failure? I'm really trying to think about, do I want to take on rebranding failure? What is failure? Is failure, I mean, really, is it failure or is it I've learned from this? I'm going to, recalibrate. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to try. I'm going to tweak.
mhm.
So is it, really what is failure? I'm not, I've been juggling that the last few years. Like, what is failure really?
I think the biggest failure is if you don't try.
Yes, yes, I agree. That's failure. Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. We are about the end. Do you have some final thoughts?
Oh, well, I one just thank you for giving me this opportunity to join you. It's been delightful, and
Me too.
to your audience, just there's so many opportunities out there, and there's so many great people in this world, and so um, if you're experiencing tough times, and I think today is World Mental Health Awareness Day.
Mhm.
My mother used to always tell me that if things look bad today, tomorrow's another day. It'll look better. And so, reach out to friends, family, and go after things that you're excited about trying to do, and tell your story, and tell your story, tell your story, because your story is important. It's so important.
Yeah. Thank you for being my guest. It was my pleasure, and it was fun talking to you. And
Well, thank you so much.
goodbye.